Hello, and welcome to another edition of One Bad Veggies Root Beer Review, where in this review we go down on the farm to get ourselves some butterscotch. So first off, if you notice anything weird around my face or anything, I did have some dental surgery recently, so it does make my lip come up, my kind of upper lip look a little bit puffy if anyone notices. But for this review, we're going down to the farm, like I said, for Butterscotch Root Beer, which is actually a special edition brew from Twigs Root Beer, which is a root beer that I plan on reviewing. Maybe I'll put it up maybe next after this, all things considered. So I'm not sure if it's just the regular Twigs Root Beer with butterscotch in it, or if this is just a completely different thing altogether. So I guess we'll find out over the next few weeks whether or not that's true. But yeah, once again, this is a brand new one. You know how I am when it comes to the brand new ones that I've never tried before. It's always an adventure, especially when it comes to butterscotch, because we all know how I feel about butterscotch root beers. Not always a favorite of mine. Usually the butterscotch kind of overpowers the root beer and it ends up tasting kind of funky. So let's hope that that is not the case this time, and let's go ahead and get right into the ingredients. So let's go ahead and get right into the ingredients, which should be appearing. It's there. It's always there. So first off, basic stuff. I see there's some gum arabic and some of the kind of like preservative based stuff that you see sometimes in root beer, sometimes you don't. I don't know if this is because it's a special brew. Maybe they want it to like last longer on shelves or something, so they put something extra in it. Otherwise, normal stuff. Let's go ahead and take a look at the bottle, which actually it's hard to tell. So a lot of these bottles have I don't know what the material is that they use on bottles, but it's stuff that kind of peels off fairly easy. This is like a nice paper kind of material, and you can even, I don't know if it's really able to be caught in the light or anything like that. You can see the detailing right here is actually like a holographic or a sort of material. It gives it a nice shine. It's actually a really nice label. I mean, the picture itself is very basic. Let's go ahead and read what's on the side here, because there is a little bit of a thing on the side here. Let's go ahead and this special root beer was made to commemorate Farmers Brewery in Shawana, Wisconsin in 1908. A group of farmers organized the brewery, survived Prohibition, and bottled beer until the 1940s. So that's what you see on the picture there. Let me go ahead and go back to the camera for a moment. And yeah, you can see that there's a picture of the brewery where apparently it says that they brewed beer there during Prohibition, or after Prohibition, or however you want to put that. I guess it doesn't really say. Be pretty cool if they were doing it during Prohibition. Pretty hardcore, but anyway, yeah. So this, as it says, this root beer is made to commemorate the brewery, the Farmers Brewery. So it actually has absolutely nothing to do with an actual farm. So there's that joke out the window. Anyway, let's go ahead and open this up and get some of the scent. Don't ask me why, but I had this weird thing in my head where for some reason I was assuming that this place was British based because it's called Twigs, and I don't know why that is. Like the word twigs, for whatever reason, stuck in my head as British for some reason. So whatever. Anyway, also, by the way, didn't see that on the bottle. You can see right there, if it focuses, Twigs. So yeah, Twigs. And yes, we're opening this up to get ourselves a little bit of a scent, a little sniff. And yes, it is a bottle open. No fizz, so that's interesting. I'm sitting here, I can already smell the butterscotch. So, yeah, you can smell a faint bit of the root beer, kind of on the back end. like you could smell it, like, I don't know how to put it, like back here. Like, it's not up front, it's not in the first part of the scent, but it hits in on the way back. But otherwise, you know. So funny, talking about my dental surgery, I've had to eat a lot of pudding over the last week because I couldn't really eat anything I couldn't eat anything soft foods. I could only eat soft foods. So the smell of butterscotch is something that I'm very familiar with in the moment. And so maybe this is the perfect time for me to be drinking this because I've been inundated with butterscotch over the last week. So maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that'll help the review. We'll see. But first, we have to go ahead and check out the pour and the foam. Ladies and gentlemen, we are proud to have the trusty mug in the room with us today. Who's going to help us with this pouring and foaming. Let's go ahead and get down to it. You know, for not having a lot of fizz, when I opened the bottle, it's got quite a bit of head on it, but it is a quickly dissipating one. So let's go ahead and try the foam before it goes away. Oh boy. Now, the foam of these root beers, the head of these root beers, when they are another flavor other than just straight root beer, tend to have a very the flavor that's being represented, the extra flavor, the butterscotch, the nutmeg, the vanilla, the cinnamon, whatever it is that they're advertising, cherry on the bottle, is you get a lot of that in the foam. And that's simply the case here. Very butterscotch, super duper duper butterscotch. And you know, I guess in this case, not, you know, I don't know who's out there grabbing a root beer and then sipping on the foam. You know, if you're drinking root beer, you're drinking root beer. However, if it's interesting to you, the foam's completely gone, by the way. It's just gone. Like, it was gone as I was drinking it. Beautiful at the start, gone right away. Almost overflowing. You guys saw it. You saw it, right? I saw it. You saw it, right? Okay. So yeah. Anyway, definitely not gross. Assuming you like butterscotch, which some people don't, and I got nothing to say to those people. Nothing. So let's go ahead and I guess we're into the taste test already. Feels like it's flying, but not. So here we go. Get ourselves some of this butterscotch root beer and bottoms up. The first thing I want to say is a positive thing, and that is this butterscotch root beer by far has been the most complimentary butterscotch root beer I've ever had. And what I mean by that is that, well, let me just go ahead and start by saying the butterscotch flavor is more potent than the root beer. If anything, the butterscotch almost kind of makes the root beer taste like cola a little bit. Like the butterscotch kind of masks a lot of the flavors that you would normally expect from the root beer. You can still you can kind of taste the root beer trying to poke through, but like I said, it ends up kind of almost tasting like a butterscotch cola instead of a butterscotch root beer. And the thing is like, it's not necessarily a bad thing. Now, usually when I have a butterscotch root beer, the problem is that not only does the flavor overpower the root beer, it also kind of like makes the root beer gross. I mean, that's the simplest way to put it, is that you end up feeling like you're just drinking a butterscotch soda, which is the thing that exists. Butterscotch soda exists. And so what ends up happening is the butterscotch overpowers the root beer and ends up making the root beer taste kind of like funky. And sorry, that was my phone going on. And so anyway, and this isn't the case this time. In this case, it actually tastes, like I said, more complimentary than butterscotch root beers I've had in the past. It doesn't taste bad at all. I'm still not crazy about butterscotch in root beer. I for some reason, there are two flavors that are great separated and just kind of don't work for me completely together. However, in this case, if you like butterscotch flavors and stuff like that, if the idea of drinking something butterscotch flavored sounds good to you, like this is a good example. It'll be interesting to grade because, like I said, you know what? Let's just get into the grade. Again, it's one of those ones where it's hard to come up with a letter grade because sometimes it's something isn't a fit for you, and that's fine. You know, that's what critiquing things is all about. You know, plenty of people, you know, gave Star Wars a good review, but there's people who didn't. There's people who didn't like it. You know, everyone likes different things. In this case, however, because of the way that the butterscotch works with the root beer that's inside of it, even though it is still overpowering, it doesn't have any of the nastiness that I kind of associate with butterscotch root beers mixed in. So I'm going to go ahead and give this one a C. If it was, it's a stupid thing to say. If it wasn't a butterscotch root beer, it'd probably get a higher grade. I mean, that's kind of the point. I'm not crazy about that mixture specifically, even though it seems to be a super prevalent flavor mix that people seem to do a lot with root beer for some reason, more so than I think anything else I can think of. I can't think of any other. Maybe maple. I see maple a lot mixed in with root beer, but I mean, that's just like sugar, so it doesn't really affect the flavor a whole lot. Anyway, yeah, there's not a whole lot to be said. I feel like when describing the flavors, I kind of said all that I have to say about critiquing it. There's nothing especially wrong with it. It's just not my favorite thing, but like for what it is, it's very good at it. So it's hard for me to make it an A or a B because it's just not my style of drink. But I also think that it's totally drinkable. It's totally fine. If I was more into butterscotch, I would obviously rank it way higher, but in this case, I think a C is totally fair. So yeah, C. So this review is kind of off the cuff. I didn't think I was actually going to be able to get this one out. In fact, my plan was to try to maybe record one of these tomorrow, and tomorrow being the 10th of December. Record one of these tomorrow and maybe another one on Sunday and get two of them out, just so that way I'm not too far behind. Actually, that would basically keep me up with at least a once a week schedule. But luckily today, I was supposed to get my stitches out, and instead he decided to keep them in. So I was like, well, if they're staying in, I might as well get this done. And I got up early to go to the doctor, so maybe I can still get this out by noon, which, looking at the time right now, probably not going to happen, but it'll probably be maybe noon 30. But yeah, that's basically it for now. As for, of course, I should have started this by saying, if you like this review, go ahead and like and subscribe and leave a comment if you want to. If you want to watch my streams, go ahead and go to twitch.tv/OneBadVeggie. Where currently right now, I am working with a fantastic artist named Z Control. You can look him up on Instagram. I believe it's Z Control _. Look him up on Instagram, look him up on Twitter, and he's kind of helping me redesign my logos and do some other artwork. And I'm kind of trying to go for a new kind of look for the stream and everything, kind of almost like a horror vibe, but maybe not, you know, I'm not going to be like a horror streamer or anything like that. I'm still going to stream what I want, but I just kind of like, I love the whole kind of like old movie store VHS kind of look to things. And that's kind of what I'm trying to like direct my stream towards. And plus his artwork kind of inspired me to go for an 80s kind of vibe too. So anyway, so if you want to check out what that looks like, because I don't really do that a lot, you can either check it out on the stream or check it out on OBV VODs, which is connected to this channel. Any of my long form videos of me doing Gunpla or of me doing a stream, I usually upload, or actually no, I always upload it to that channel now. So go ahead and take a look. I haven't streamed with it yet. In fact, I guess technically you won't see the VHS aesthetic that I'm going for this month because it is Christmas. It is Christmas month, so I'm actually trying to come up with a nice sort of Christmas vibe, but his artwork will still be on there. You'll see some of his cool tweaks on the classic tomato that I use as my One Bad Veggie logo. So this one's going on for a long, this outro is, so let's go ahead and finish it up for now. Just, you know, go ahead, check out my stuff, and I hope you had a good time.